What is up, YouTube? So today I have 10 random skate hacks or tips, general advice that I guess you can use in your everyday skate life that'll hopefully make things easier for you. So let's get right into it. Tip number 1. So every time I put on a new pair of shoes, the shoelaces rip. It's really annoying and there's nothing you can do about it but tie it, and it's just an annoying process. So what I do is I put glue on my shoelaces the first day I buy them. What I use is this hot glue gun here. It takes 5 minutes to warm up and it melts the plastic and you just put it right on there. Or if you have super glue, that works too. Just put some super glue on there. I think that's even stronger, but I just prefer this because I can, if I mess up, I can like remelt it and put it back on or whatever. But yeah, shoe glue. Skate hack number 2. Okay, this is gonna sound a lot like a commercial advertisement type of thing, but I promise you it's not. I'm talking about it because I truly believe in how good it is. It is the skatespotla.com website to find skate spots. This is what it looks like, something like this. And you can click on an individual spot and it'll show you a picture of it right there. And there's just so many skate spots. You can buy like 1,000 spots for 20 bucks. And is this in focus? I bought 2,000 spots for 40 bucks and I split it with a friend. And it's just like so worth it because every time we go out, there's just always spots that we can find. And there's just so many more spots than any other skate spot app that you'll find. That's what I use. And it's totally worth it because you spend a lot of gas going to all these far spots and you can't even find the spot with the app. I definitely suggest the website because there's so many more spots. Skate hack number 3. Use a toothbrush to clean your bearings. So oftentimes our bearings get all old and dirty and rusty sometimes. So what I like to do is use a toothbrush to get in there and clean out all the rocks and dirt. So how I do this is I get a sandwich bag and I put the bearings in the bag and I squirt some lube, or sometimes I use baby oil, but I'm pretty sure the skate lube is better that they provide with bearings sometimes. And I like to wash the bearings with that, and then I take one bearing out at a time and just really scrub inside the bearing as deep as I can to get the rocks out, any dirt, and then I just do a test to see if it works. And you'll be surprised how much dirt or rocks get in your bearings that you can actually clean out. Skate hack number 4. So if you've got a hole in your shoe and maybe you don't have time to put glue, or if you don't have the glue in the first place and you just want a quick fix, then you can put tape on your sock so that your sock doesn't rip and then you don't get a hole in your sock and it doesn't go through your sock and cut your foot. It doesn't hurt. Obviously this isn't going to last forever and you're not going to be putting tape on your sock every single day. So it's more of like a temporary fix in the meanwhile, but it's very simple and effective. Tip number 5, rice. Rest, ice, compression, and elevation. If you've got an ankle injury like me, you want to make sure you do these 4 things ASAP right after you injure yourself. Do not try to skate again because most skate injuries happen right after they injure themselves. They try to skate again and then they re-roll their ankle. I know this is like the most obvious tip there is in this video, but you'll be surprised how many people start skating again right after they injured themselves. Trust me, just try to like tame yourself. Do not let the skate beast out of the cage. Tame the beast and just don't go to the skate park and watch people skate because that is impossible. You can't do it. If you're a skater, you cannot just sit there and watch people skate. So don't go to the skate park. Buy some video games and play video games or do something else. Okay, skate hack number 6. So this one might be a big surprise to all of you, but it is to not stretch before skating. Now, I'm not saying don't stretch. Stretching is great. Just do it after skating when your muscles are warm. You do not want to stretch when your muscles are cold. A better alternative to stretching before skating is to just do a regular warm-up. Do some jumping jacks, go for a light jog or something. Just warm up the muscles and slowly raise that heartbeat up. Now, there is another type of stretching that you can do before skating. It's not exactly the same as holding the actual muscle and stretching it, which is called static stretching. So an alternative would be dynamic stretching, which is actually movement stretching. So like using momentum to stretch. So like swinging your arms or you doing leg swings, stuff like that, which is more like warming up too. But it's called dynamic stretching. So that's good too. Skate hack number 7, avoid dehydration. So oftentimes you're skating at the park in the hot sun and you don't realize how much fluid you're losing and electrolytes. So it's important to stay hydrated by drinking every 15 to 20 minutes before, during, and after you skate, because oftentimes thirst isn't the best indicator for how hydrated you are. Another thing that you can do to avoid dehydration and cool down is if you have a water fountain at the skate park, which I'm pretty sure most skate parks have water fountains, you can put water all over your skin, on your face, on your neck, and that will actually help you cool down because it is taking the place of sweat and evaporating off your skin. So the way sweat works is we produce sweat so that the molecule can absorb the heat and be released into the air when it dissipates from evaporation, and that's how our skin cools off. So by putting water on, that water is evaporating and losing the heat instead of our sweat, so we retain that water. Science is pretty cool. Tip number 8. So when you're walking around holding your skateboard, you want to make sure that you don't hold your skateboard like this. That was my example of how I walk around with my skateboard. You want to make sure you walk around with your grip tape facing outward. And the reason for that is because you don't want your clothing to end up like this. See that? This is one of my old long sleeves. It's kind of messed up, really grinded up because of the grip tape. I saw this and I was like, why is my sweater getting worse and worse every day? And I realized that it's because I always hold my board like this, but now I hold it like this. So I know a lot of you filmers and editors out there are using DSLR cameras like the T3i or the Canon 60D, which have the option to protect clips. You can actually save the clip. What I used to do is I would just delete all the unsaved clips and then transfer just the saved clips on my computer when I do the editing so that I wouldn't have to look through tons and tons of clips. But the problem with that is that I would lose clips. Like I would forget to save clips and then I would lose a clip. And there's always one clip in a video that would be missed. So what I started doing recently is I just started transferring all the clips first, and then I would go back in and then delete all the unsaved clips, and then I would transfer a separate file for the saved clips. So I'd have two files. I would have all clips and then protected clips. And what this allows me to do is I can look through the saved clips for all the good clips and just go about my editing how I usually do it, so that I still don't have to look through all the clips. And if there happens to be a missing clip, then I can go back to that all clips file and then just pull it in from there because I didn't delete any clips. It has to be in there. It's just a good way to be safe and save time, and at the same time still have the efficiency of being able to look through only the saved clips files and not have to look through tons and tons of footage from all the clips. Skate hack number 10. This is the last skate hack and probably the best skate hack that I have for you because it's directly related to skateboarding and can probably help your skating out a lot. So I learned this in my motor learning class, and it is the action effect hypothesis by a German scholar named Wolfgang Prinz. So the action effect hypothesis states that our actions are best planned and controlled by their intended effects. So what that means is that when trying a trick, you want to focus on the outcome as opposed to like the process. In other words, instead of focusing on how you're moving your feet, how you're moving your legs, how you're gonna slide, pop, it's better to focus on landing and rolling away, or focusing on the trick as a whole instead of focusing on like your specific movements. However, it's different if you're learning a trick. If you're learning a trick, then you want to try to think about how to move your feet and how to slide. But if you already have the trick down, you don't want to overthink about your movements. Let the automatic process take its course. The most common explanation for why this hypothesis is true is because when we try to consciously control our movements, we're actually interfering with automatic motor control processes. Pretty cool stuff. Thank you guys for watching 10 skate hacks. I hope you guys at least learned one thing maybe. If you guys like this video, please give it a like, subscribe at the next page, leave your comments for any other video ideas, suggestions. I'm open ears. Thanks again. Bye. Doing? Whoa, what the? So as soon as you buy new shoes, you're gonna want to put mustard on your face.